Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Super Skin Essentials, where we learn, investigate, and determine the best ingredients, techniques, and products out there to help you look after and improve your skin. If you're new to my channel, greetings. My name is Gord, and I've dedicated this channel to bringing you the most current available information and research on all things skincare. I am a firm believer that skincare is self-care, and to build an effective daily skincare ritual can take some time and patience, but the efforts are so worth it when you see the results. If you haven't done so yet, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing so I can continue bringing you the best content on how to achieve great skin. I welcome any comments or suggestions on topics that you would like to see in future episodes. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. Now, sunscreen is by far the most important step of your daily skincare ritual. I have got crucial information for you today that will change your feelings and approach on applying an SPF. I'm very excited for today's episode because I have left the absolute best for last in our simple daily skincare ritual, which is sunscreen. Now, I've spent months preparing this episode in terms of my research and trying out different sunscreens in order for me to bring you the best that I can, and also to save you some time, effort, and money on choosing the best SPF for your skin type. Please, everyone, watch right through to the end of today's episode, because if there is one step of this series that you implement into your daily skincare ritual, it is this one on sunscreen. There are virtually hundreds of SPF products out there from multiple brands around the world. And it's crucial that you understand the variations in what these sunscreens offer. And also, I want to present you sunscreens that are affordable and easily accessible in the hopes that you will, number one, apply the proper amount of sunscreen that you should in order to get the protection that's on the bottle. Number two, reapply that sunscreen throughout the day as recommended, somewhere between 2 to 3 hours. And number three, just enjoy the experience and it becoming habitual in your daily skincare ritual so that you tend to put on that sunscreen very regularly. So let's get started. What is SPF? SPF stands for Sun Protection Factors. This SPF that's labeled on the bottle is an indicator of how long your skin would take to burn when using the sunscreen properly, as according to directions, as opposed to not using it at all. So for example, let's say you're using an SPF 30. It would take your skin 30 times longer to burn using that sunscreen properly, as opposed to if you didn't use that sunscreen at all. A common question that I get from friends or family and clients is, do we need to apply sunscreen every day? And look, the long and short of it is, yes, it is imperative, so important, crucial. Have I got my point across yet? That you apply your sunscreen every single day. It's been proven in studies that we get as much UV exposure through the windows that we work and live under, through the glass. And there has also been some studies proving that we get a small amount of UV radiation from the lights, the artificial lights that we live and work under. And even during this process of me studying and researching so much for this episode, it's really opened my eyes to how much more careful I have to be and how much more careful my friends and family have to be about applying their sunscreen. I have gotten to the habit of putting my sunscreen on whether I go out or not. And part of the reason for that, guys, is because as you see this beautiful grand piano behind me, which I call my baby, I sit at that piano on some days for very long hours, and it's beside a very big window. So I've been making sure that I put my sunscreen on those days, especially when I'm sitting at that piano for long hours. It's turned into very much of a habitual thing. My sunscreen step only takes an extra few minutes in the day, and I'm getting that added bonus or reassurance that I'm preventing myself from getting skin cancer. And with pale ass skin like mine, I practically glow in the dark. With pale ass skin as mine, I am the most likely to get sunburn or higher chance of skin cancer risk. So I guess the next important point to bring up is how much sunscreen should we be applying every day? Now, there's a ton of stuff on the internet that you might read, like 1 shot glass of sunscreen should do your body, or a tablespoon of this, or whatever. The actual measurements, according to the Dermatology Association, is 1 centimeter squared of product to 1 millimeter squared of skin. But, oh my God. I'm not going to be taking out a measuring tape, and I don't expect any of you to take out a measuring tape to make sure you're getting the right amount of product on your skin. How I measure this is a gauge from someone that I watch on YouTube a lot, who is Dr. Dre. She has an amazing channel. She's a board-certified dermatologist and presents a lot of products and ingredients with scientifically based evidence. She's got an incredible channel. You should go check her out. Anyway, so what I've learned from her and a couple of other dermatologists is that 1 teaspoon of sunscreen is suitable for your face, your ears, and front and back of your neck. 1 teaspoon of sunscreen is good for your arms and hands. 1 teaspoon each for your leg and foot, and 2 to 3 teaspoons for the front and back of your torso. That's a lot of sunscreen, but that's what's going to give you the protection according to what is on the bottle. So this is another important point that I make to friends or family, is always go for a higher SPF, like SPF 50 or above, because in general, as consumers, we only apply about 1/4 to 1/2 the amount that's required to get the SPF protection. So if you go for a higher SPF and you don't apply quite enough as you should, naughty, naughty. But if you don't apply as much as you should, at least with a higher SPF, you're going to get a little bit more protection than if you use a lesser SPF, if that makes any sense. The other important point here is when we put that SPF on in the morning, our sunscreen in the morning, that we do have to reapply during the day, 2 to 3 hours. Every 2 to 3 hours, you're supposed to be reapplying. Now, if you are like myself, if you are sitting indoors and not out in the sun, I don't reapply my sunscreen as maybe I should, but I just don't, because I'm not being active and I'm just sitting beside that window. Now, if you were out and about and doing activities, going for a walk or at the beach, you must apply that sunscreen every 2 to 3 hours. So some gauge that I use, or a rule of thumb that I like to use when I'm putting my sunscreen on in the morning, is I sort of squeeze out about a tablespoon. I sort of judge how much a teaspoon into my hand, and then I give a little extra squeeze of the product just to make sure I'm getting enough. Now, a really good segue here is, what about those products that already have SPF in them? So that would be things like a moisturizer that includes an SPF, or let's say your makeup, your foundation has an SPF in them. And these are great products and wonderful additives, but you have to remember these are not sunscreens. These are really good to have in your arsenal, but you must have a standalone sunscreen. If you have seen an esthetician or you've got a dermatologist or a doctor, they will all tell you that you must have a standalone sunscreen. And let's also consider, with the measurements we just talked about, a teaspoon of sunscreen for your face, ears, and neck. The likelihood, it's just not realistic that you're going to put a full teaspoon of moisturizer or foundation or tinted moisturizer on your face. It would be like a grease factory. And even myself, with very dry skin, I would never put on that amount of moisturizer or tinted moisturizer because it would just be dripping off me. So just please remember, take away this important information. You must have a standalone sunscreen in your arsenal. So I want to talk to you today about the three main types of sunscreens. There's the mineral or physical sunscreens, the chemical, and the hybrid sunscreens. Now, mineral sunscreens use ingredients like titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. These are small particles that sit on the skin's surface and protect or physically shield the skin from the harmful UVA rays. They work by deflecting and scattering those UV rays away from the skin, and as I said, act like a shield. Now, mineral sunscreens are great because they don't clog pores and they're really suitable for sensitive skin. The downside is that they can feel heavy or leave a film on the skin, and in many cases will leave a white cast, or if you have richer, beautiful, deeper skin, they can leave a lavender or ashy cast to the skin. So here are two recommendations I have for you for mineral sunscreens. The first is a Korean brand named Make Prem. It is their UV Defense Me Blue Ray Sun Fluid 50 plus, SPF 50 plus, PA+++. Now, this is 100% mineral sunscreen with zinc oxide and titanium dioxide that isn't greasy and it's not heavy. It's also really nice on the skin because it absorbs easily. It doesn't leave a white cast, or it leaves a very little of a white cast, and is also great for sensitive skin. This is also coming in a large bottle, so it's really affordable, or it gives you good value for your money, especially when you can use it on your face and body. Next on the list is from CeraVe. It is their Hydrating Mineral Sunscreen SPF 30. This contains zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, as well as the CeraVe 3 essential ceramides. Now, those ceramides are things that support the skin barrier and lock in moisture. They also do a tinted version of this sunscreen, and tinted sunscreens have become really popular. Anyway, this also has won the National Eczema Seal of Acceptance, as well as the Skin Cancer Foundation Seal of Approval, which is really amazing. It's very highly recommended and suggested from estheticians and dermatologists. And I love it because it goes onto the skin really evenly, it's hydrating, and it doesn't leave very much of a white cast. With any sunscreen though, guys, you always have to make sure that you spend a little bit of extra time, no matter the formulation, to make sure that that sunscreen is worked into the skin. Spend that extra minute or two just to make sure, in order to cover your face evenly so you don't have slip areas where those UV damages or UV rays can get in from the sun. So let's move on to chemical sunscreens. Now, chemical sunscreens include ingredients like oxybenzone, avobenzone, octisalate, homosalate, and a few others. How they work is that they allow UV light to be absorbed into the skin, and once it's absorbed, the ingredients go to work and make a chemical reaction whereby the UV light is converted into heat, and then that heat is dissipated from the skin. Now, that doesn't mean that your skin gets hot or that you get hot. The actual heat reaction is on a molecular level. Now, these chemical sunscreens tend to be a little bit easier to go on the skin. They're more fluid in consistency and can include other ingredients like antioxidants. And antioxidants in tandem with sunscreens work very well together and actually make the sunscreen more efficacious. Now, as a disclaimer here, I honestly don't care what kind of sunscreen you use, mineral, chemical, tinted, hybrids. It really doesn't matter to me. As long as you're using a sunscreen and you enjoy using it, that's all I care about. So here are my recommendations. The first is from La Roche-Posay. It is their Anthelios XL SPF 60 Ultralight Lotion. Now, La Roche-Posay actually has a number of sunscreens in this Anthelios line. And the other interesting fact here is that La Roche-Posay is owned by L'Oreal. And L'Oreal has a very long-standing history of incredible developments and R&D in sunscreen. They actually developed one of the best filters, UVA filters, that's available called Mexeril, which is a modified form of avobenzone. Now, avobenzone on its own, it degrades very quickly when it's exposed to sun and requires other chemical filters for it to be efficacious. Now, this lightweight sunscreen, I love it because it goes on my skin with ease. It really absorbs well. There's no white cast. And even as a chemical sunscreen, I don't get any stinging or irritation around my eyes. It's a beautiful sunscreen, and it's a really nice product to use, and it helps to get that idea in your head of using a product that's good for your skin. It's a winner. Next on our list is from Aveeno. It is their Protect and Hydrate Moisturizing Sunscreen SPF 30. Now, this is a 100% chemical sunscreen that also has the addition of oat extracts. Now, Aveeno is known to impart oat extracts in their formulations. And what they do is add a level of hydration. They're also soothing and moisturizing, and they're an antioxidant. And as I mentioned to you, antioxidants work very well with sunscreens and really help to make that sunscreen work better. This is also oil-free, which is great for those people with oily or acne-prone skin, but it's suitable for all skin types. This is also water and sweat resistant up to 80 minutes. Now, something you should know about water-resistant or sweat-resistant sunscreens. Number one, there is no such thing as a waterproof sunscreen. So the advantage of using something that's water-resistant or sweat-resistant is that it tends to stay on the skin longer. So it means that you don't necessarily have to apply it as frequently. However, if you are at the beach or you're at the pool and you go into the water, you do have to make sure that you're reapplying that sunscreen as soon as you get out of the water. The other thing I wanted to bring up is, as I mentioned to you earlier when we discussed those skincare products that have SPF in them, that they are not good enough as a standalone sunscreen. Well, a lot of these sunscreens, or all of the sunscreens that I'm suggesting to you today, could replace your moisturizer. If you wanted to take out one step and just put in your SPF, you could do that with all of these sunscreens because they have moisturizing factors in them that could replace your moisturizer. Just as a little side note, you know, I'm always looking out for you. So next on our list, I want to talk to you about hybrid sunscreens. Now, these have become a lot more popular in the last couple of years, and they really are true hybrids. What they do is incorporate both chemical and mineral or physical filters. Now, if you have issues of the ups and downs of if you can have a chemical sunscreen or if you don't like a mineral sunscreen because of the cast, this is sort of the best of both worlds. So what they do is incorporating those mineral filters that we discussed. Those mineral filters sort of sit on the top layer of the skin and shield the skin from the light. The chemical filters that are in a hybrid sunscreen work in the lower layers of the skin to absorb the UV light and convert it into heat. So it really is an ideal best of both worlds situation with a hybrid. So it is something I would like you to consider. Now, sometimes hybrid sunscreens are called combo sunscreens, just so you know. But they are really good advantage for those of you who want to try something new. As you all know by now, I love my Asian skincare products. What you may not know is that I lived in Hong Kong for well over a decade, and I was exposed to a lot of incredible skincare brands, skincare ingredients, formulations, and one of those things that I really took away from me when I left Asia was sunscreens. Their sunscreens in Asia are eons ahead of us in the West. One of the great things about Asian sunscreens was the PA+ system that was actually developed in Japan. Now, you may have seen sunscreens that say SPF 50 PA+++. Now, this PA Plus system is something very unique because in the West, we have SPF 50 broad spectrum, but we don't know how much UVA protection we're getting from that. This is where the PA Plus system comes into play. They developed this PA Plus system to indicate how much UVA protection we get from the sun. So a PA Plus rating would be moderate UVA protection to the PA plus 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 plus. So there's up to 4 pluses, which is very high UVA protection. Really cool system, and I'm sure it's something that you now will know what the PA Plus means. I love to educate. So before I go on to my recommendations for hybrid sunscreens, I just wanted to make a shout out to a friend that's also here on YouTube, and his channel is based out of the UK, and it's called Mad About Skin. Now, this next product I'm about to suggest to you was actually, I got recommended from his channel, and it is a brand that I know. But before I go on to that, I just wanted to say thank you from across the ocean to Rob at Mad About Skin. He has an amazing channel. He uploads very frequently, and his knowledge of skincare is spot on. Anyway, this brand coming out of Japan that I love, this sunscreen is new to me, but I've been enjoying using it. It's the Biore Brightening UV Milk 50 Plus PA Plus Plus Plus. So this is a very intriguing product to me. Not only is it only $17, it's fragrance free, but the technology in the product, it comes out of the bottle like a gel-like lotion, but dries down on your skin almost like a powder. It has this incredible effect of looking very fresh, but also like a blurring effect. So it makes the skin look very even. It also goes onto the, absorbs into the skin, really evenly, very quickly. And this sort of brightening technology just makes your skin look so fresh and smooth, and also takes away that idea of putting a sunscreen on and feeling greasy or shiny. There's none of that with this. Plus, it's offering a very high level of sun protection, like many added bonuses for this product. And by the way, everyone, for all the products today, as always, I will link them all in the description box below, just to make sure that if you want to go check them out, it's an easy link for you to do that. The next on the list is from Garnier. It is their Ombrelle Face Sunscreen Ultralight Hydrating Cream SPF 60 Broad Spectrum. Now, this Garnier product is also a L'Oreal company. So this is also going to include that patented filter of Mexeril, which has been proven to be much more effective than zinc oxide and titanium dioxide on their own. This also goes on very lightweight and leaves such a faint white cast on my face, but as I massage it into my skin, that white cast dissipates within a minute. It's a beautiful, beautiful product that absorbs easily into the skin, offers a high level of SPF protection, and you can use this as well if you wanted to substitute it as your moisturizer and just use your SPF. This is another great product you could do that with. A beautiful, beautiful, true hybrid sunscreen. And it's only $16. Now, I just wanted to talk to you briefly about another type of sunscreen that's out there. It has become a lot more popular in the last year or so, and those are tinted sunscreens. Now, tinted sunscreens have a couple of really great benefits, in my opinion. One is that they offer a level of coverage to your skin, so it'll even skin tone out if you're having like a blotchy day or whatever, and they also will take away from that white cast or lavender or ashy hue that can come from sunscreens or mineral sunscreens. And they really are an incredible additive to your arsenal because you can layer them. Or if you wear makeup, this could be a substitute for your foundation, or you could put your your tinted sunscreen on and then your foundation. So that's a really great bonus in my opinion. And here are a few suggestions. The first is the La Roche-Posay Anthelios Tinted Mineral SPF 50. Now this product, I love this product because it is really lightweight. It's 100% mineral sunscreen, so it's really good for sensitive skin. Obviously, it doesn't have that white cast because it does have a slight tint to it. It's nothing like foundation, but it goes onto the skin so beautifully and leaves just like a dewy, really evenly coated skin that looks just very fresh all day long. It's a fantastic product, and again, La Roche-Posay is a L'Oreal company, so you know you are getting the best SPF protection on the market. Next on the list is MD Solar's Tinted Mineral Creme SPF 30. Now this is a beautiful product. It goes onto the skin very smoothly and evenly and gives a little bit of coverage to the skin. It also is formulated with really good antioxidants, green tea, vitamin C, cranberry, and pomegranate extracts. It's suitable for all skin types, even for the most sensitive skin, if you have rosacea, and also even good for oily or acne-prone skin. It really is a product that goes on evenly and dries down to a matte finish, if that's something that you like. I want to just give you a few quick and easy tips before I go to closing today that you can do outside of just putting your sunscreen on. The first is your clothing. Try to wear as much as possible long sleeves with fabrics that are tightly knit and dark in color. Also, wear a hat. Make sure when you're out in the sun you wear a hat or a visor, and obviously big sunglasses. The next thing is have some outdoor smarts. Stand in the shade as much as possible. Make sure that you maybe have an umbrella or parasol in the bright sun. And also just stay out of the sun in those really bright hours between 10 and 4. Number 3 is avoid tanning beds like the plague. It's been proven that tanning beds are just as strong, if not stronger. The UVA radiation or UVA rays are just as strong or stronger in a tanning bed. And the last one is UV repellent detergent. Now this is something I found fascinating in my research for this episode. There are products out on the market, detergents that you can buy that you put in the washing machine with your t-shirts or with your shorts or whatever that add a level of UV protection. This is what a lot of companies do. If you may have seen UV repellent clothing that's on the market, there's tons of companies that do this now, but this is a way for you to do it yourself. So take those ideas, those tips, those tricks, and put them into practice. We have successfully got to the end of our 4-step simple daily skincare ritual. Now I'm going to link all of my previous episodes in the description box in case you want to go check them out. There are a ton of products, some great tips and techniques on how to achieve better skin. With these steps in your arsenal, I have no doubt in my mind that you have already started to see the positive results in your beautiful faces. When we take a little bit of time to give our skin the love it deserves, the results are undeniable. Because as we all know, or should know by now, skincare is self-care. Now, I can't wait to see you in my next series coming up very shortly, so make sure, everyone, that you subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on a future episode, and always, always, please like the video. It really helps my channel out a lot. I'm sending you tons of love, and always remember, put on that sunscreen and protect those beautiful, gorgeous faces of yours. Love you lots, guys. See you soon.